Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and honestly cinematic visions in the entire Bible. It's the story of the Valley of Dry Bones from the prophet Ezekiel. And it is a wild, haunting story all about impossible restoration. A vision that has resonated for centuries, speaking directly to those moments of absolute hopelessness.
And it all kicks off with this single, incredible question. God asked the prophet, standing in what is essentially a mass grave, "Can these bones live?" I mean, just imagine that for a second. This question is the dilemma that yanks us right into the heart of this whole amazing story.
All right, so to really feel the weight of that question, we have to get a sense of the scene. Let's paint the picture, because this vision starts in about the most desolate place you can imagine.
Now, the text gives us two really important details about these bones. There were very many of them, and they were very dry. This tells you this wasn't some recent battle. No, the dryness means they'd been there for a long, long time. It's a picture of total, final, irreversible death, the end of the line.
So how in the world does Ezekiel answer that impossible question? Well, he doesn't say yes, and he doesn't say no. Instead, he gives this incredibly humble reply. He's basically saying, look, this is way above my pay grade. If something this impossible can happen, you're the only one who would know. It's such a key moment, and it perfectly sets the stage for the miracle that's about to happen.
And right after that, the action starts. This is where the vision just gets, well, epic. God tells Ezekiel to speak, to actually prophesy to these dead bones, and what happens next is just mind-blowing.
You can just see it all unfold. First, Ezekiel speaks the words God gave him, and then you hear it, a sound, this rattling noise as all the bones start to move. They literally come together, skeleton connecting to skeleton. Then, out of nowhere, tendons and flesh and skin cover them, reforming them into complete human bodies. The entire valley of scattered remains is now an army of lifeless bodies.
And here's the cliffhanger. This is the moment of pure suspense. You've got this incredible sight. All the pieces are there. You have bodies, flesh, skin, but they're just empty shells. They're not actually alive. The physical restoration is complete, but the most important part, it's missing. It's a huge clue that just looking the part isn't enough. Something much deeper is needed for real life.
So you have to be asking, what is all this about? Is it just some bizarre, spooky vision? Not a chance. The vision itself comes with a built-in explanation, and it reveals that this isn't really about reanimating corpses. It's about restoring the soul of an entire nation. God spells it out for him. He says, these bones, they're the people of Israel. At this point in their history, they're in exile, their nation is completely shattered, and they feel totally cut off from God and from their home. They've lost all hope. Those very dry bones, that's exactly how they saw their own situation, as final as death itself.
And to really get their despair, you have to understand what was going on. Around 586 BC, Jerusalem had fallen to the Babylonian Empire, and the people were dragged off into exile. We're talking decades of being a conquered people in a foreign land. So this vision wasn't some abstract fairy tale. It was a powerful, direct message of hope speaking right into their very real pain and hopelessness.
And here's the promise, laid out in the open. God's not just talking about bringing bones back to life. He's promising to bring a whole nation back from the grave of exile. It's a promise of a literal, physical return home, a reunification for a people who were convinced their story was over for good. But remember those lifeless bodies lying on the valley floor? Just getting them back to their land isn't the whole story. The vision takes one final crucial step to show what true restoration, what real life actually looks like. The secret ingredient is this amazing Hebrew word, ruach. It's a fantastic word because it can mean three different things all at once: breath, wind, or spirit. God tells Ezekiel to prophesy one more time, but this time to the ruach, calling for it to come and enter these bodies. This is the final act that brings everything to life. And what's so cool about this is the deep connection it makes. The use of ruach here is a direct parallel to the creation of Adam back in Genesis, where God breathes his own breath into dust and humanity becomes a living being. See, this isn't just bringing something back from the dead. It's a total recreation. It's saying that true life, whether for one person or a whole nation, requires the very spirit of God.
You know, this vision is just so incredibly rich. Beyond the national restoration, it's also about the power of God's word. I mean, the miracle only happens when Ezekiel actually speaks it. Many people also see it as a powerful hint, a foreshadowing of a future bodily resurrection. And in the bigger picture, it even points toward a messianic hope, a future where a perfect king rules over a unified and peaceful kingdom.
So why are we still talking about this ancient vision today? Why does it still hit so hard? It's because it works as a timeless parable. Its message of radical hope isn't just stuck in the past, it speaks to us right now.
Just think about it for a second. What are the dry bones in our world or in our own lives? Maybe it's a relationship that feels broken beyond repair, or a dream that you've long since given up on. It could be a feeling of spiritual deadness, or really any situation that just feels completely and utterly hopeless.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway from the Valley of Dry Bones? It's this: no situation is ever too dry, no case is too dead, no hope is too far gone. This vision is a radical declaration that God has the power to bring life, real life, into places that seem lost forever.
And that leaves us with one final thought. When you look around at your own life, at your community, at the world, that ancient question kind of echoes back to us. What in your world is just waiting for a new breath of life?